An 18-year-old girl leaves a party on a normal weekend night. Hours later, she is last seen standing alone on a dark highway. 13 agonizing days pass, and her body is finally discovered, not in some faraway place, but inside a motel water tank that had supposedly been searched before. Was this a tragic accident, or was Debanhi Escobar the victim of a crime and a cover-up? Tonight, we dive into the haunting case that shocked Mexico and the entire world. Debanhi Susana Escobar was a young law student from Nuevo Leon, Mexico. In April 2022, she went missing after attending a party. Less than 2 weeks later, her body was recovered in a motel cistern. Her story became a symbol of unanswered questions, public outrage, and the demand for justice. Debanhi was just 18 years old, a law student with dreams, ambitions, and a future ahead of her. On April 8, 2022, she attended a party with friends. Like many teenagers, she wanted to enjoy the night, but the evening took a tragic turn when disagreements arose, and she was left to return home with a ride-hailing driver. Hours later, the world would see her last haunting photograph, standing alone on a deserted highway at night. That single image would go viral, transforming her case into a global symbol of vulnerability and unanswered questions. According to reports, Debanhi left the party with a Diddy driver. Somewhere along the ride, she reportedly argued with the driver and exited the car. The driver later claimed he left her on the roadside voluntarily. But the most chilling part? Before driving off, he took a picture of her standing alone by the highway, an image that would haunt the investigation forever. That photo was the last confirmed sighting of Debanhi alive. From that moment, she vanished. Her family filed a missing persons report, sparking a massive search across Nuevo Leon. But no sign of her was found for nearly 2 weeks. On April 22, 2022, searchers made a shocking discovery. Debanhi's body was found inside an underground cistern at the Nueva Castilla Motel. What made this even more disturbing was that the motel area had already been searched multiple times before. Yet nothing was found until that day. Motel staff claimed they never noticed anything unusual. The location, a water tank just meters from public areas, raised deep suspicion. Authorities initially suggested an accident. Perhaps she fell and suffered fatal head trauma. But this explanation left her family and much of Mexico unconvinced. How could an 18-year-old girl simply end up in a motel cistern? The first official autopsy suggested accidental death from a head injury and drowning. But Debanhi's parents refused to accept this version of events. They ordered an independent autopsy which painted a very different picture: signs of sexual assault, repeated head trauma, and evidence inconsistent with an accidental fall. This contradiction fueled nationwide outrage. Was her death being downplayed as an accident to hide the truth? The possibility of homicide became stronger, and accusations of negligence and even a cover-up were directed at the authorities. Instead of providing closure, the investigation only created more questions, and Debanhi's case turned into a symbol of injustice. From the very beginning, the investigation was plagued with irregularities. Search teams had already inspected the motel, yet her body was discovered there days later. CCTV footage from the area was delayed or missing, and statements from motel staff contradicted one another. The Diddy driver's actions, especially taking her photo, were heavily questioned, but no clear answers emerged. Forensic reports contradicted each other, leaving the truth uncertain. Between 2022 and 2025, the case has remained open, with authorities failing to give a definitive explanation. Her family continues to fight for justice, insisting that Debanhi was murdered and that someone is responsible for her death. Debanhi's case ignited nationwide protests across Mexico. Citizens demanded justice not only for her, but for countless women who vanish each year. The haunting roadside photo of her became an icon representing fear, vulnerability, and systemic failure. Her death highlighted Mexico's growing crisis of femicides, where women are killed or go missing daily. By 2025, her story is still one of the most controversial, unsolved cases in the country, reminding the world of the urgent need for truth and accountability. Debanhi Escobar's case remains shrouded in mystery. Accident or murder, negligence or cover-up, one truth stands clear. A young life was stolen, and justice has yet to be delivered. Her tragedy is a warning that demands change. If you believe women deserve safety and justice, share Debanhi's story, subscribe to Case 43, and keep the fight alive.